Welcome. Got these two, going to put the F100 cab onto the Grand Marquis. I'm going to show you what I cut, where I cut, how much I cut. So one of my other videos, I showed where and how much of the floor and firewall I cut out. So that turned out pretty well. I did come back and clean these edges up on both sides. Trying to get it to slip over the Grand Marquis over here. And to get it to sit as low as I wanted, I had to cut a piece out here, but that involved cutting back this way. And I cut out this corner here to slip down a little more. So this should give me about an inch between the firewall of the Grand Marquis and the cab of the truck here. But that's what it looks like on both sides. See, I did the same thing on both sides. And like I showed in another video, just cut around the edges there. And then on the Grand Marquis, I spent a ton of time cutting little bits off and realized that's just not going to work. So finally went through and just cut. I cut this pillar pretty much in line with the dash. Cut down. We'll stay up front here and cut out all that I could there. I did trim a little bit off of the air box, but not much. And cut down, and I left some of this for structure. If you're cutting with Sawzall blades, this piece is really hard. It's like a U channel in here. Let's see from the top. And I'm going to end up cutting and trimming some more of this out. I'm actually thinking I'm going to come and probably just trim on the inside of this pinch weld. But here's where I've cut up to this point, and back here I just kind of whacked all that off. But some pieces I had to cut, those triangles that you saw on the underside of the dash over there. That was to clear some of this in here. And that's just where I made a mistake. Didn't mean to cut that. Let's go to the other side. I'll show you how much and what I cut off over here. This side was easier without the air box. But again, I know this sticks out further than this. Oop, right there. But I just went through and just started cutting all I could off to get it back up to that point. None of this is in the way, because if you look at how that curves back in. But same thing through here. And then back here, just cut out. And like I said, I think I'm going to come back and at least cut on the inside of this pinch weld and get rid of that. And that'll make it easier for me to lay up and over with a piece of metal. But that's where I cut on these. We'll get the cab on and I'll show you what that looks like. Got my cab sitting back on. Put a seat in. I put the two front bolts in. Just wanted to see how this was going to line up and work out. You can see I do have a gap across the front. I'll fill that in, but I do still have this piece of plastic to go back down. And I'm going to trim up some more down here. I'll probably cut that lip out. I can build my piece up and tie into the Crown Vic floor. Obviously, I've got to build the piece across the back. But for measurement's sake, we'll go from about there on the cab, coming back here, and it's about 40 inches to the center of the rim there. So that's how far forward my cab is. And for me, I want to say I cut that about 6 inches. So I came up 6 and cut across. And it gave me the right height I was looking for. You gotta imagine too, this truck will be 6 inches lower on the ground once it gets off the lift. And the way I determined how much I was going to take out of the front and back of the cab, I put this level on it, but I also put this level on the frame. And if you can see, I have the back jacked up to make the frame level. So frame's level across here, cab level across here. I just threw a front fender on to see where the tire was going to line up. And I think it lines up nice. I like that. But here, I'll jump in, set this up, and show you what it looks like with me inside the cab. And it's not exactly spacious, but for me, it's not that tight either. And I've kind of got the seat set where I would want to ride. I'm about 5'10", 205 pounds, if that helps you. But this is a comfortable driving position for me. Said I had the seat a little low and steering wheel's tilted up a little bit, but that puts me about middle of the windshield. I think it's going to work out fine. And I can still, I left everything where you can move it around, but there's still some wiggle room. I could go up or down if I needed to. But for me, I think this is going to work out fine. So next steps, I'm going to pull the cab back off. I'm going to paint all this black, get the Grandpa beige out of it, and I'll put it back on and start lining other things up. But hopefully that helps somebody. Appreciate you watching.